All right, let's take a little trip. We're going on a cosmic tour, starting with the stars you think you know and heading straight for the most violent, the most bizarre, and the most incredible objects the universe has ever cooked up. But first, we've got to break something you almost certainly believe to be true. Yep, let's just rip the Band-Aid off. The sun isn't yellow, not even a little. And if we can all get something that basic, something we see every day, so completely wrong, well, just imagine what else is out there. What you think you know about stars, that's just the first page of the story. So, let's start our journey close to home. We're going to look at the single most common type of star in our galaxy, one you've never ever seen, and the one you can't escape. Think about that. 3 out of every 4 stars are red dwarfs. They are literally everywhere. And yet, not a single one, not one, is bright enough to be seen with the naked eye. The most common star in the galaxy is completely invisible to us. How wild is that? And they are just unbelievably efficient. A red dwarf sips its fuel so it can live for up to 10 trillion years. Our sun, on the other hand, is a gas guzzler. It's incredibly wasteful, burning through only about 10% of its hydrogen before it completely falls apart. Get this, the universe is so young that not a single red dwarf has ever died. Not one, ever. And that brings us back home to our own so-called yellow dwarf. That name? It's a complete lie. Our sun is a pure, brilliant white star. The only reason we see it as yellow is because our own atmosphere scatters the light, playing a trick on our eyes. You know who knows this for a fact? Every single astronaut who's ever seen it from space. To them, it's just blindingly white. Okay, so we've seen the slow and steady. Now let's talk about the fast and the furious. These next stars are the true rock stars of the cosmos. They live fast, die young, and when they go out, man, they go out with a bang that literally creates the elements for life itself. Just look at this number for a second. 9 million. It's so big, it almost feels meaningless on its own, right? 9 million times what exactly? That's it. That's how bright the most extreme blue giants can get. These things are absolute monsters. They burn so hot and so fast that they live for just a few million years, a blink of an eye in cosmic time. And when they die, they don't just fade away. Oh no. They detonate in a supernova that can briefly outshine its entire galaxy. You see, a red giant isn't really a type of star so much as it is a death stage. It's what happens when a star dies on the inside, and its guts expand out into a massive, bloated shell. And yeah, this is exactly what's going to happen to our sun in about 5 billion years. It's going to swell up and swallow Mercury, Venus, and almost certainly us too. And this is where it all gets incredibly personal. In those final dying moments, these giant stars are cosmic forges, creating carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, all the heavy elements. Then they blast them out into space. So when you look at a red giant, you're not just watching a star die. You're literally looking at your own origin story. So after all the fire and fury of the giants, what gets left behind? Well, this is where the universe gets truly, deeply weird. We're heading into the realm of cosmic ghosts and stellar corpses, these beautifully strange objects that pretty much break the laws of physics as we know them. This is the default ending for about 97% of all stars, our sun included. It's the smoldering, super dense core left behind. A single teaspoon of a white dwarf would weigh 15 tons. But here's the craziest part. The universe isn't old enough for any white dwarfs to have cooled off completely. Every single one that has ever been created in the history of the cosmos is still out there, glowing. Okay, now for something even more extreme. I want you to actually picture this. We're going to build it in our heads, step by step. First, just imagine the sheer amount of stuff in 2 of our suns. Got it? Now, take all of that material and crush it. I mean, squeeze it down with unimaginable force until it's no bigger than a city like Manhattan. If you can picture that, you've just made a neutron star. And trust me, nothing about it makes any kind of sense. There it is. That's the punchline. One little sugar cube-sized piece of a neutron star would weigh as much as the entire human population combined. The atoms themselves have been crushed so hard that the protons and electrons are forced together, creating an object so dense it's basically one giant atomic nucleus. And just like the other stars, this has a direct link right back to you. When 2 of these insane objects spiral into each other and collide, the resulting explosion is so violent it creates the heaviest elements in the universe, like gold and platinum. So yeah, the gold in your jewelry,
It was born in the spectacular death of two of these stellar remnants.
We've seen dense and we've seen bright, but now we've got to crank it up a notch. We are now entering the territory of the true monsters of the cosmos. These aren't just stars. They are the most powerful and extreme things we know to exist, period.
A magnetar is a special type of neutron star with a magnetic field a trillion times stronger than our planets. And this is what it would do to you if you got within 1,000 kilometers of one. It wouldn't burn you, it wouldn't crush you with gravity. No, its magnetic field would just rewrite your atoms. It would pull apart the molecular bonds holding you together. You would simply stop being you. You'd stop being matter.
Back in 1967, astronomers picked up this signal from space that was so precise, so perfectly rhythmic, that for a moment they seriously thought it had to be artificial. They secretly nicknamed it LGM-1 for Little Green Men. Turns out the truth was almost weirder. It was a pulsar, a rapidly spinning neutron star that acts like a perfect cosmic lighthouse. Today, we actually use them as the most accurate clocks in the known universe. And this brings us to the absolute upper limit of what a star can be. Hypergiants. They are so ridiculously huge that if you dropped one into our solar system, it would swallow every single planet all the way out to Jupiter. They're so massive that they're fundamentally unstable. They're basically in a constant state of exploding in slow motion. We've journeyed through incredible heat, impossible density, and unimaginable violence. Now we arrive at the very end of the line, at the final, quiet, and frankly shocking fate of the most massive stars of all. So, after all that, after the supernovas and the cosmic explosions, how do you think the absolute biggest, baddest stars in the universe go out? You'd expect the biggest fireworks display of all time, right? The grand finale. But that's not what happens. Some of these hypergiants are so massive, their gravity is so overwhelming that when their cores finally collapse, nothing can stop it. Gravity wins, completely. They don't explode. There's no flash, no supernova. They just vanish. They collapse directly into a black hole without a whisper. One moment, a star is there, and the next, there's just nothing.
And maybe that's the most amazing takeaway. The universe doesn't always need a big dramatic ending. For its biggest and brightest creations, sometimes it just switches off the light. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What else is out there, hiding in the dark, just waiting for us to find it?